get you on the radio. Yeah, you gotta get on the radio. It doesn't take a long time.
You gotta get on the radio. Welcome back to the midweek special of Around the House with Eric G. This is where we talk home improvement each and every Saturday. Thanks for joining me today. It is Wednesday morning, going to be a beautiful day here in the Portland area. Thanks for checking us out here on the midweek special. A couple things I wanted to talk about first. Thanks everybody for listening. We're going to have some interesting 3 weeks or so ahead. So I just wanted to jump right out and get the elephant in the room real quick. We're doing some remodeling here on the show. We're making some good changes. So just stay tuned for this. This is going to be good. So if you're catching us on the Radio Northwest Network, don't worry. We got a few weeks here of best of shows coming up. Kind of keeps us going while we're remodeling. So stay tuned for that. So what you're going to want to do is catch all our shows here for the next 3 weeks. Up through the 13th, you're going to catch them here on the podcast. So this is where you'll want to catch all the new content. So on the radio, you're going to hear some best ofs just for a short time. And then catch all your new stuff here. So stay tuned. We got some exciting stuff ahead. You know, I was up in the Tri-Cities yesterday meeting with Rob from KONA. Great people up there. You'll be catching us. We're going to be doing a special event up there coming. So you're in the Tri-Cities, listen to KONA. They're going to tell you about the special event will be coming up. And, of course, I'll be teasing it on Facebook on Around the House with Eric G. So a couple things here. This is actually brought up part of the midweek special. So I was going to talk about something else today, but you know something? I realized that outside of like my neighborhood here, where we didn't get much snow this year, there's some serious snow mold out there for people all over the Northwest and even into the Midwest and everywhere else that you're listening to out there. There were some serious lawn care issues out there because most of the snow has gone away. And I say most, I mean, there's still, I was at my son's house yesterday. He still had some snow for some drifts that were in his yard, even though it was mid-50s degrees in the Tri-Cities. If you don't know what snow mold is, it is that matted down grass from where the snow has frozen over the top of the ground and been there for a while. So it looks gray, kind of gray-green. Sometimes it's even pink, depending on where you're at. So there's a couple things with that. First off, it happens a lot. There are ways to prevent it. So you can, if you know you're getting snow every season, and you know you've got a problem with that, what you can do is actually go through and spread a preventative application of like Scott's Disease X long fungicide about Thanksgiving-ish before the first heavy snowfall. That will actually prevent most of the snow mold from coming in, or at least keep it really down in a, just a little bit here and there kind of thing. So what do you do with snow mold? Kind of easy. You just get out there, lightly rake it. Get it broken up a little bit so you can get through there. So if you go through and lightly rake it up, get it broken up, get that top mat, because it kind of develops its own crust. It's going to take a while to bust through that. So rake it up a little bit. You could even go through and overseed that if you'd like to, but it'll help. That raking with a leaf rake, it doesn't take much. If you go through and rake that up, what that's going to do is it's going to let the air get in there. It's going to give room for the grass to grow and kind of get that hard crust of that snow mold off the top. So that's the first thing there. Get that done. You can throw some seed over it, do your normal spring fertilizers, and you're going to be good to go. It's just going to take a little bit for it to come back, but the good news is everywhere else, I tell you what, if you've got it, your neighbors probably have it. It's one of those things. So some of the things you can do to prevent, is really mow before the first snow. So extra long grass is really big for snow mold. So you want to make sure you cut that right before that snow comes in. Don't let the leaves pile up. Thick layer leaves is great for growing snow mold. So watch out for that. And then make sure you dethatch things pretty well. If you keep your thatch layer down, it's going to really keep the chance of that snow mold coming in. Because again, it's not going to give it a place to grow. The other thing is be easy on the nitrogen. Fertilizer containing nitrogen is great for fast growing grass, but something too much late in the season, that feeds that mold. So you can be careful with that. So just be a little careful. You might want to hit, instead of hitting that last one, to keep that lawn looking great, hit the Winter Guard type. And this isn't a Scott's commercial, it's just what I use, but use one of the fall lawn foods. So, again, like I talked about, use a preventative fungicide. That can help as well. And then, the other thing is if you don't get any snow, you're not going to get snow mold. So it's just one of those things. If you're clearing snow off the sidewalks and driveways, if you pile it where the grass is, guess what? That's going to create more snow mold. So if you put it over where landscaping is, away from some of those bushes that can't take it, if you get it out of the way, off the grass, then you're not going to get it as well. So that's the thing there you got to be careful with. So snow mold, knock it out. We're into spring. It is the first day of spring. So that's the great thing is we get to enjoy spring now. It's going to be, I think, 72 degrees here in the beautiful Portland area. So here's our schedule coming up here for Around the House. What we're going to be doing is for the next 3 weeks here on the podcast format, we're going to be putting our live content up here. The one exception to that is going to be in the Tri-Cities on KONA. We're doing a special event there. So again, Tri-Cities folks are listening. Thanks for listening. We're going to have a special event there. We might record that and put it up here as a special podcast as well. We still have to figure those details out. So the next 3 weeks up through the 13th, you're going to hear that. You're going to hear all the new content on the podcast. The radio, you're going to hear some best of shows on the radio airwaves out there. But don't worry. You're going to hear us back in all those Radio Northwest stations, maybe plus a few more. So stay tuned. We've got some fun things coming. And when we get a little closer, when I got some new stations to announce here in the next week or two, I'm going to give you guys a lot more information. And then we'll tell you a little bit more of kind of what's going on and what's happening. But you know something? This is great for Around the House. So stay tuned. Nothing bad's happening here. These are actually super positive things as we grow the show. And just like all remodeling, sometimes you got to do a little demo day to tear it down a little bit before you can really build it back up again. So thanks for listening. Thanks for staying tuned to us here. We'll be doing a new show for Saturday that will be up on Saturday. It will not be posted up probably at the same time as you hear it. Might actually come in a little bit earlier. So take a listen to the podcast. Like I said earlier, we're going to have a lot of different subjects coming up on Around the House with Eric G. So if you want to give us a call, feel free to give us a call here in the studio because I will put you in the podcast. So what's our number here? 503-521-7072. 503-521-7072. Give us a call here into our temporary studios, and that number will get you right here in the studio, and I will put you in the middle of Around the House, and you'll be in our podcast. So I want to hear all those questions. Are you building a deck? Are you building a fence? Are you staying in a fence? Whatever you got going on, let's hear about it because we're going to dive into all those different subjects because over the next couple weeks, we're not going to have guests. We're just going to be talking about great projects moving forward. So, all right, guys, thanks for listening to the midweek special here on Around the House with Eric G. Tune in Saturday here on the podcast for all new content because we've got some exciting stuff ahead. Thanks for listening. Thanks for sticking around. See you Saturday.